Hello! Welcome to the last episode of the holiday sessions. I know, it's crazy. It's already the last one. This project has been bringing me so much joy. It's been so wonderful to talk to my friends. It has brought me a lot of joy just seeing their faces and then hear about their holiday traditions, because everyone does so many different things during the holidays and I love it. And now I have to tell you about my traditions. So I'm going to do that. First of all, I'm from France. I'm from Rodez, so that's in the southwest of France, little town. And I'm currently in New York. And it's my first Christmas in New York. Not like first holiday season here, because I've been living here for 3 years, but first time not going back to France for Christmas. It's not my first time not being in Rodez, because we've celebrated in different parts of France before, but not being in France is a big first. And so yeah, it's a year of first. I feel like 2020 is. Which holiday I celebrate? I celebrate Christmas, as you can tell from my Christmas tree that I've had up since mid-November, because I really needed the extra joy early this year. So yeah, which holiday traditions I had as a kid? I did write letters to Santa, and I remember, well, one of my friends told me Santa didn't exist, but I still continued writing a letter. Or like, I just remember when you're writing a letter, and I think it definitely was my last letter to Santa, because either my friend told me before and I was like, yeah, I'm still gonna write it, or right after she told me, I was like, that makes sense. But I remember writing a letter to Santa, and I would put it under my tree. And so like, it was after, I mean, we each year wrote our letters, you know, saying which gifts we wanted, but my mom kept those because she needed that list. But then I remember writing letters to Santa and putting them under the tree for Christmas Eve. And then they disappear, you know, so I was like, oh my God, Santa took them. And I remember one year finding my letter a few months after Christmas on top of a shelf. Like I guess I was on my sister's bunk bed or something. I was higher up, and it was just, my letter was there. So my parents did such a good job at hiding that letter. But yeah, I remember writing letters. But otherwise, we celebrate on Christmas Eve. We have a big dinner with a lot of food, so much food. And we always have a bûche de Noël, so a Yule log, but hey, it's French, so bûche de Noël. And then we play a lot of games. So we generally have appetizers, and then we open presents kind of that time. I remember waiting for presents when I was a kid, and that they'd make us go outside to look for Santa while they put the presents under the tree, and then we'd come back and the parents were like, come into the living room, there's something. There was some noise, we're scared, you go. And so now, then I did it for my brother. I would take him outside. Like, we would look for Santa's sleigh in the sky, and I remember one year I was so sure I had seen it. I was so sure, I was like, yes, Dad, I saw it. And sometimes they sent us to play games, so we would do it then because my brother is younger, and we kept the tradition of Santa really long time for him, just because it was so nice for us to keep that magic. And then we'd go down, and the presents were there, and I would do it with my cousins, so generally take them upstairs and play games with them. They thankfully don't understand English, so if they watch that, they don't know that's what I'm doing. That I'm just distracting them. And yeah, and so now we've been opening presents a bit earlier, because no one, except the 4-year-old, but no one really believes in Santa anymore. And then we have dinner, and then we play games, and a big one is the Pictionary, which we get very into. And another one is the taboo. Again, depending on if like my cousin is there and my mom. I mean, my mom is always there with me, but we don't always have my cousin, and it can get very competitive between them. 1 year, and I think we're all traumatized from that time that they played together. Otherwise, the big one that we always do, and that it's more fun if there are a lot of people, it's called the Traderidera. And it's so hard to explain, and I don't know why I just started talking about that, because it's a game. So basically, I'm gonna try, okay. So you play it with like wine bottle caps, and you're in a circle around a table, and each person playing has that cap in their hand, and you sing a song, and while you sing that song, you pass the cap to the person next to you. And so you just go around the table, because then you take the cap from, like, the person on your left is giving you one, and you're giving yours to the person on your right, and it goes in a circle, and there's a song. But with the song, there's a trick, and there's some point in the song that you do not pass the cap to the person next to you. You keep it in your hand, but you still do the movement as if, because there's someone around the table that's gonna mess up, and they're gonna lose, and they're gonna leave the table. So you keep doing it. And so the song goes, I'm gonna do it like with my savez-vous passer le traderi dera, savez-vous passer ceci sans vous tromper, and then you drop it. I mean, you don't drop it. You can drop it if you want to distract people around you and have people around you lose. Because there are people, like, I know there's some people I don't like to be next to because they just don't pass it well. They make it roll on the table. And so eventually you just get, as soon as someone messes up, they're out. And at the end, there's, only one winner, and I have been that winner quite a few times. It's generally, like, my sister is also very good, my mom, my aunt. I feel like the four of us, generally, one of us will at least be in the finals. Sometimes, and I don't think we've ever had one of us, at least one of us, not in the finals. If it's two of us, it gets very intense. And then, when there were only two people, but even when there were only 4 or 3, depending on how many we started with, but you try to distract people, so you sing the wrong lyrics, or you sing off key, you just shout. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. My dad does not like playing that game, but we all like it. And I do not know where that game comes from, because most members of my family on my mom's side and on her mom's side, so it's all like mother's side, everyone knows that game. And my family's now spread out, like my grandma's family spread out in Europe, I mean, even in the world, and if you meet someone from that family, like, chances are they will know that game. And my family's from Brittany, France, but I have some friends from Aveyron who also know it, so I just don't know where it comes from. I don't, because then other people in France do not know it, so it's just I don't know where it comes from, but it's a fun tradition we have. And yeah, I'm trying to think if like there was any other big tradition I had as a kid, but we sing songs, not as much now, but definitely when my grandma was still alive, that's something that we did. She would have printed copies of all the songs. You should just pass them around the table, and we'd sing them. Yeah. I guess like in sort of, we always kind of have the same dinner, which is, I'm going to say the French terms just because I always have it in France, and so for me it's French and I don't want to. We have basically a chapon, which is basically a big bird, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. But, and then some chestnuts and some pommes de fine and some string beans. What else do we have? I feel like that's the main dish. Oh, and then I've been doing more recently, thanks to my best friend, some orange salads. Very good. And then, but yeah, we always have, we eat shrimps for appetizers. Foie gras, there is foie gras, I mean, come on. There is. For the longest time I did not like it, and it's been like the past 3 years that I kind of do like it, but just a bit. Like, one bite. And I'm like, okay. But I'm also fine if there isn't. I know some people in my family need it. My dad is an expert at making it, so if you're a fan of foie gras, I feel like it's definitely, you should talk to my dad. He has a whole operation with it. He gets so into it. I love it. Even like last Christmas, he didn't celebrate it with us. He was in France, and he still made it before he left for the States. They were ready, and he just left instructions for when to take them out of the fridge, or I think some were in the freezer. I don't know, there was a whole thing. It was like, we had to follow instructions, and every time he checked to see like, how were they? I love my dad. And then, so my mom is always, she's mostly the one doing the bûche de Noël. It's sometimes my aunt, and we, a lot of times my aunt too. I feel like my mom and my aunt generally make the bûche de Noël, and we spread the Nutella on it. And then we decorate it. It's so good. And then we also make fruits déguisés, which is, I guess, some sugary thing in between. I don't know, colorful, sugary sort of cream that you just put in between two walnuts. I mean, one walnut that you just break into two parts. And then little truffe de Noël, which is just chocolate, little chocolate. But then the one thing that is a tradition, but it's also a part of like recipes that have been passed down, is the chinquelé. Super weird name, I know. And I can't even really tell you what it is. It's a weird, it's a biscuit. It's a biscuit that's been fried, but that is dried. I mean, it's a dry biscuit. But you can keep it, it stays good for so long. You don't need to cover it. I mean, you should probably cover it, but you don't need to put it in the fridge. It just stays good for a long time. And we make a little shape, and we put it in the frying machine, and it fries. It's really good. And you put some, and then there's sugar, and it's just, again, it's something that comes from my grandma's side of the family, on my mom's side. So it's my mom's mom. It comes from her side. And again, it's something that's definitely been passed down through generations. It's a recipe that when we're kids, we help shape the biscuits, and then eventually you start, helping making it. So far, I've never done it on my own, because we're always, it's more of a, you do it with family. And this will be the first year that I will not eat any, just because I do not have any frying machine in my apartment. So first year without chinquelé, I think I'll manage. This is for my family, just eat a lot more than usual for me. Like every time you eat one, just think, oh, failed. What else? Yeah, no, that's the only recipe. I think the one recipe for Christmas. Also, I've been talking too long already, so how am I going to celebrate this year? Christmas, when I'm filming this video, is less than a week away. When this video comes out, Christmas, well, it's in 2 days, but I celebrate tomorrow because I celebrate on the 24th. So I have ordered a nice Christmas dinner for myself. I was like, do I want to cook? And I was like, don't. I want to have a really good meal. Not that I'm not a good cook, but I just want, I don't want to have to do it. And so I ordered from a French restaurant so that I still have a bit of French, and I'm excited. And it's the dinner I ordered is it's quite similar to what I generally eat. So I'm happy. There are no chestnuts though in that dinner. Just realized, but it's okay. It's the closest that I could get. It's also about, it's a weird year, so Christmas is weird. There's some days I feel very Christmassy, and there's some days I just don't. I see the calendar. I have another tradition, chocolate advent calendar. I actually have one right there. I see it. My mom and my sister. I think it was my sister's idea. They both sent it my way. So, chocolate calendar. Yeah, every time I see December 19th. Yeah, it's just weird. But it is snowing. no, it snowed 2 days ago, but there's still snow on the ground, so it is making me, I haven't had snow in December for a very long time. So it's exciting. It's exciting to have that, and it's making me feel like, okay, maybe Christmas can come. But otherwise, I'm home. I mean, not home family, like with family, but home in New York, and it's gonna be a lot of Skypes, and watching Christmas movies and watching musicals and reading. I'm hoping that I get to like do a Christmas walk or something with my friends who are in the city. Try to organize something like that, maybe not on Christmas Day, because some people are with family, you know, if they all live in New York, or but yeah, somehow around that'd be nice, just to see friends, depending on how cold it is outside, you know, because you don't want to freeze. But yeah, it's gonna be a chill Christmas, but with a lot of Skypes, and I already, like, some packages have started arriving from my family, and all of them are like, do not open, and so they're just sitting under my tree. So this is very, like, this is testing my, you know, just somehow I've lost the words both in French and English. It's okay, just testing that I do not actually open it. Okay, what are you thankful for? Health. I think in 2020, it's been everyone's answer, but it is a big one. I feel like as soon as I start feeling something, I'm like, oh. But health, especially as I went back to dancing so much this year, especially in March and April when I would take classes, you know, it felt that, I mean, now the pandemic, you know, there's so many cases in New York, it's as, you know, it's really bad, but there's not we don't feel as fearful as we did back in March, where we were like, oh my god, we're all gonna die. It's very different. I feel it's my anxiety level, even though it's still like higher up than it used to be pre-2020, it's not as high as it was in March and April. And I remember I would take a class and I was like, you know what, if suddenly I get COVID and I can't dance anymore, this is my last class. There was something about it that I was just so focused that what if I can never dance again? And so very thankful that I can still dance and that I'm healthy. And then friends and family, again, I think that's what we all said in those videos. But yeah, you know, I was lucky to be able to go home during the first lockdown in France and spend some time that I shouldn't have. I wasn't going to spend, you know, so long in Aveyron, and there were a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but it's still, I'm very happy. Like, I have really young cousins, and I think that was a great thing to have, just to be with them and still get to know them, because they're changing every day and I live so far away, and so those extra 4 months with them were very special. And friends, I am incredibly lucky to be so well supported by my friends. Both friends, you know, that I've met in high school or college or Stella, or then some friends that I met online, Twitter. Everyone has been so, I don't know, there's just an amount of love, and some I met in real life, some not, and still they're always showing up, and I feel very, very lucky. And theater, I'm gonna say theater, even though there's no, like, I mean, you know, live, like, in-person theater is so rare right now, and I miss it so much, but there has been so many wonderful online things going on, and in March I would have been like, what? And now I'm just very thankful just for that. And everyone who has watched these videos, and all my friends, Nino, Paulina, Edu, Isabella, and Caroline, thank you for taking part of this project. That I was like, I just wanted to talk to my friends and have my friends sing a little something, and thank you for doing this. And thank you for watching. And Oh, why did I choose this song? So the song I chose is Merry Christmas, Darling, and I feel like I first really started understanding that song six years ago. The first Christmas without my grandma, and I heard it, and I'd listened to that song before, but it never, I was always with my family. There wasn't I didn't relate to that song, and then there was that. I was like, and so every time I sang it, it was to my grandma, and now this year, it's again very different because it's always to my grandma. Like that will never change now, but it's also my family because I'm not with them, and as much as I know that right now it's the best thing, I don't regret that decision, but it's also hard, and right now I've just had a great day. I'm feeling very happy, but there are some days that it is harder to not be with family right now. And so I'm also thankful for technology, because it would have been so much harder to not have any of this, Skype or Zoom or FaceTime. That would have been so much harder. But this is really a song, for everyone who's not with family, who is missing someone, but really, in my heart when I'm singing it, is really for my parents, my siblings, my aunt, and my little cousins. Who are not that little anymore, but it's really for my family. I love you, je vous aime, super fort, and yeah, this is for you. And I should say it in French because they're French. C'est pour vous. This is so weird to do it alone and not be talking to a friend, but you're all my friends, I guess, so. Alright, now enjoy the song, and thank you for watching the holiday sessions, and I hope it brought a smile on your face a little, and I wish you some very happy holidays. Greeting cards have all been sent, the Christmas rushes through, but I still have one wish to make, a special one for you. Merry Christmas, darling. We're apart, that's true, but I can dream, and in my dreams I'm Christmasing with you. Holidays are joyful, there's always something new, but every day's a holiday when I'm near to you. Oh, the lights on my tree, I wish you could see, I wish it every day. Logs on the fire fill me with desire to see you and to say that I wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year too. I've just one wish on this Christmas Eve, I wish I were with you. Logs on the fire fill me with desire to see you and to say that I wish you Merry wish I were with you.